Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today we're plunging into the really dynamic world of the global interior renovation market. Get ready to understand how our living spaces, our working spaces, are being transformed. It's happening on a truly massive scale. We're going to be breaking down a pretty comprehensive analysis from cognitive market research. We'll focus on the major trends, the detailed forecasts, and also the regional dynamics shaping this industry, looking back from 2021 all the way out to 2033. So our mission today: let's extract the most important nuggets. How are our spaces evolving globally? And, what do the numbers really tell us about this surprisingly large and rapidly growing industry? Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, what's fascinating here, I think, is that this market isn't just, fresh paint or new countertops. It's deeper. It really reflects these broader economic and societal shifts. How we value our spaces now, how our work lives are changing, what we prioritize, comfort, efficiency, aesthetics, the sheer momentum behind it. It's really indicative of a global trend. It's reshaping our everyday environments.
Absolutely. And speaking of momentum, let's kick things off with staggering global figures from the research. This is definitely not small potatoes. Back in 2021, the global interior renovation market was valued at over $30 billion. Let's think about that for a second. And it's not slowing down. Projections show it hitting over $35 billion by 2025, and then surging even further to an estimated $49.9 billion by 2033. That's a consistent compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of over 4%, 4.283% to be precise, over that whole period. What does that kind of consistent growth signal to you about the industry's health?
Well, those numbers, they truly underscore that the market is poised for significant and sustained transformation. It's not just a fleeting boom. Our source highlights some key underlying drivers here. You've got evolving consumer preferences. People want personalized, upgraded spaces, so they're investing more in things like, say, dedicated home offices, maybe multifunctional rooms, or even that biophilic design trend, bringing nature indoors. Then, of course, there's rising incomes in many parts of the world. That simply allows for these bigger investments. And critically, it's the increasing adoption of smart design, technology integrated right into renovations, smart lighting, automated climate control, that sort of thing. It's about making spaces not just look better, but function much smarter for our daily lives.
That makes perfect sense. People really want their spaces to work for them in new ways. Now, here's where it gets really interesting as we start breaking down the market by region. Because, the growth isn't uniform across the board. Some areas are absolutely booming. Let's start right here in North America. This market alone. It's set to grow from over $11 billion in 2021 to more than $18 billion by 2033. That's with a CAGR of almost 4%, 3.84% specifically. What are the key drivers we see playing out here in particular?
Right. In North America, especially the U.S., you see this strong culture of homeownership and a really high emphasis on property value appreciation. That naturally fuels continuous investment in upgrades. The United States is clearly the dominant force here. It accounts for the vast majority of that North American market share.
So the U.S. was at, what, $9.2 billion in 2021, heading towards $14.3 billion.
Exactly. Massive numbers. But Canada and Mexico are also showing really robust growth. Canada going from about $1.2 billion to over $2 billion. And Mexico actually shows a slightly higher CGR, around 3.999%, hitting over $1.6 billion by 2033. It kind of hints at maybe a faster acceleration of renovation trends there.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're talking billions in growth across all three countries.
Okay, fascinating.
Yeah.
So moving across the Atlantic now, let's look at Europe. Its market is projected to grow from just over $6 billion in 2021 to nearly $9.5 billion by 2033. What kind of renovation trends seem distinct in European markets?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Europe's market is incredibly diverse, isn't it? You have these powerhouses like Germany, the UK, and France leading the way. Germany alone is projected to top $2 billion by 2033.
Wow, Germany leading there. And the UK?
The UK is rising to about 1.6 billion, France heading towards 1.2 billion, but then you also have steady growth in Southern Europe, Italy, Spain, and consistent contributions from places like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland. The spread really suggests that while economic conditions might vary, the desire for modern, efficient, and, aesthetically pleasing spaces is pretty much a continent-wide trend.
Right.
It reflects a blend of new construction, but also quite extensive revitalization of older properties, which Europe has a lot of.
Makes sense. Now, if you're looking for the real booming region in this deep dive, all eyes seem to turn to Asia Pacific. This area is showing the highest growth rate, expanding from over $8 billion, almost $8.4 billion in 2021 to a projected $15.2 billion by 2033, and a really strong CAGR of over 5%, 5.102%. What makes Asia-Pacific the leader in this global renovation surge?
Oh, this region's growth is just phenomenal. It's driven by, well, rapid urbanization, a burgeoning middle class, and often there's a cultural emphasis on modernizing apartments and homes, both new and old. China, of course, is leading this charge, projected to nearly double its market size by 2033.
It's almost $4.7 billion, right? From about
Wha-
$2.5 billion.
Exactly, but it's definitely not just China. Other major players are making huge strides. Japan, India, South Korea, they're all projected to reach well over $1 billion each by 2033.
And India's surging, looking like it'll hit over $2 billion by then.
Yes, India's showing particularly strong momentum. It indicates huge untapped potential there still.
That's incredible growth across the board there. And it's not just the traditional big players, is it?
Exactly right. Even the smaller, yet still significant contributors in Asia Pacific, they're showing strong momentum too, all with CAGRs above 5%, which is telling. We're talking about countries like Australia, Singapore, each contributing hundreds of millions.
Australia around 775 million, Singapore just over 750 million by 2033.
Precisely. And Southeast Asia as a collective force is approaching 1.5 billion. Plus, you have Taiwan and the rest of APAC adding another significant chunk, over 2 billion combined. It really paints a picture of widespread, rapid development across almost every economy in the region.
Okay, shifting gears again. Let's look south to South America. Its revenue is projected to climb from nearly $1.9 billion in 2021 to over $3.2 billion by 2033. Brazil is clearly leading the way here, expected to hit well over $1.1 billion by 2033.
Yeah, Brazil's the leader. Then you've got Argentina, projected around 530 million, and Chile, close to 400 million by 2033.
And others are growing too.
Oh, yes. We also see steady contributions from Colombia and Peru, each of them posting growth rates above 4%. So it indicates, a consistent demand for interior upgrades across the continent, reflecting similar drivers we discussed globally: desire for modern amenities, increasing urbanization.
Got it. Okay, the Middle East also shows significant growth. Its market increasing from around $1.3, almost $1.4 billion in 2021 to a projected $2.3 billion by 2033. How do regional developments, like all the new construction and architectural trends, influence renovation here?
The Middle East is a really fascinating case study. You've got massive investment in new cities, new infrastructure, which inevitably leads to demand for high-end interior finishes, both in residential and commercial.
So who are the key players there?
Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and the UAE are projected to be the largest contributors. Saudi Arabia around 530 million, Turkey near 440 million, UAE about 450 million by 2033.
And Egypt?
Egypt's significant too, around 300 million. You see this blend of luxury residential projects and rapidly expanding commercial sectors driving growth, alongside a real focus on creating modern, often quite sophisticated interiors. And don't forget Qatar, around 250 million, and the rest of the Middle East adding another substantial piece.
Right. Okay, finally, let's wrap up the regions with Africa. The interior renovation market there is also on a definite growth trajectory, from just over $1 billion in 2021 to over $1.7 billion by 2033. What are the standout markets on the continent?
Well, South Africa is clearly the leader in this space. It's projected to account for well over $680 million by 2033, followed by Nigeria, which is also showing significant growth, heading towards over 320 million.
And the rest of Africa?
The rest of Africa category is actually quite large, posting over 700 million itself. And what's noteworthy, I think, is that all the African CGRs mentioned in the source range consistently, between, say, 3.2% and 4.4%. It shows broad-based, steady growth across the continent. As economies develop, disposable incomes rise, leading to more investment in both homes and commercial properties.
So wrapping this all up, what does this all mean? Bringing it all together, the overall takeaway seems crystal clear. The global interior renovation industry, it's undergoing a steady, significant rise across both residential and commercial spaces. It really is a worldwide phenomenon, reflecting these fundamental shifts in how we live and how we work.
Precisely. And this growth, as the source reiterates, it's fundamentally driven by consumer desires for modernization, for aesthetic enhancement, and it's tied directly to rising incomes and that critical adoption of smart design principles we talked about. These aren't just fleeting fads, They seem to be long-term trends shaping how we interact with our built environments. which actually raises an important question.
Indeed. And for you listening, as you think about your own spaces or perhaps future investments, consider how these powerful trends might influence them, or even the broader economic shifts happening in your own regions. The numbers we've explored today really paint a picture, don't they? A world constantly looking to improve its surroundings, constantly evolving its definition of what makes a perfect space.
Absolutely. And building on that idea of smart design adoption, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How might these emerging technologies, things like advanced AI for creating custom designs or breakthroughs in truly sustainable material innovation, how might those further reshape the interior renovation market? Maybe in ways we can barely even imagine today. It's a fascinating thought to consider for the future of our homes and our workplaces. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a deep plunge into a really fascinating area, the interior renovation market. We've put this together especially for you, pulling insights from some great sources like cognitive market research, specifically their work on interior renovation, market dynamics, and future prospects. Our goal really is to pull out the key takeaways, the market size, what's driving growth, the big challenges, and also the opportunities that are emerging. And this isn't just about like paint colors or cabinets. This market is, well, it's deeply tied into the wider consumer goods industry. It's seeing huge shifts because of how we're all changing the way we live and work. So it's pretty crucial stuff to understand if you're interested in how we shape our homes.
Yeah, exactly. And this deep dive, it's designed to help you get past just the surface level numbers. We want to explore not just what's happening with interior renovation, but really why it matters, why these changes are so significant for you as a consumer, for businesses trying to keep up, and for those bigger societal trends about how we use our living spaces.
Okay, so let's get into it. What's really behind this boom in home makeovers? Our sources really point to the rapid evolution in tech, advanced technologies in design and construction. It's not just making things faster, is it? It seems like it's making design more, well, democratic. Almost lets anyone become a virtual designer.
That's a really key point.
You think about those AR apps, right? You can see the paint on the wall or the sofa in the room before you spend a dime.
Oh, absolutely. That's huge. It's about empowerment, isn't it?
Right.
And visualization. And going right along with that tech piece is a big shift in what consumers actually want.
Right.
People are looking beyond just function. They want modern spaces, multifunctional, aesthetically pleasing environments too.
Homes aren't just shelters anymore.
No, not at all. They're becoming extensions of who we are, our well-being, especially with things like remote work really taking off.
That makes sense. And then there's the whole urbanization factor. Cities keep growing.
Yeah.
That means more apartment living, smaller spaces. You almost need like a PhD in spatial planning sometimes.
True. Every square foot matters.
So that pushes people towards smarter, more flexible ways to use their space.
Definitely. And add to that, rising disposable incomes in many areas.
Yeah.
That gives people the means to actually invest more in fixing up their places.
Turning them into, personal sanctuaries or super efficient work-from-home hubs.
Exactly. But it's not all completely smooth sailing in this market, is it?
No, definitely not. What are the big headwinds people are running into?
Well, the sources consistently flag the high cost. That's a major limitation.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We're talking about rising material prices, the cost for skilled labor, and especially anything custom. That can really put people off, particularly mid-income households. They might just decide not to start the project at all.
That's a serious reality check. Budget constraints. And it's not just the initial quote, right? There are these other ongoing issues.
So, like supply chain problems, that's still lingering.
Right. Materials getting stuck, sudden price jumps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It delays everything and bumps up the final cost.
Which must be incredibly frustrating for everyone. The homeowner, the contractor.
Absolutely. And on top of that, the source mentions regulatory hurdles.
Like permits and codes.
Yeah, navigating complex permits, keeping up with changing environmental standards. Plus, there are still shortages in skilled construction labor in many places. These things make it harder to deliver projects consistently and for businesses to scale up. So for anyone in the industry, understanding these restraints is key. Not just reacting, but planning ahead.
Okay, so despite those pretty significant hurdles, this is where it gets exciting. The opportunities. The market seems full of them.
It really is.
The potential looks huge. Things like expanding into emerging markets where cities are growing fast, and also targeting new groups of consumers. It's not just the traditional young families anymore.
No, the research points specifically to millennials who have different priorities maybe, and also retirees.
The aging in place idea.
Exactly that. Adapting homes so people can live there comfortably and safely as they get older without needing to move. That's a big area.
That makes a lot of sense. What else?
Well, another really interesting angle is sustainability.
Okay.
There's a definite growing interest in eco-friendly materials and sustainable renovation practices. This is moving beyond just a niche thing. It's becoming more mainstream, something people expect. It's a way for brands to stand out.
Absolutely. It's a powerful differentiator now. And linking back to tech and preferences, people increasingly want more than just good looks. They're prioritizing energy efficiency,
Right.
overall wellness in the home, seamless smart home automation.
Yeah, the integration of tech.
That creates this huge space for brands to offer really customized tech-integrated solutions.
Imagine, like you said, a home that adjusts everything, lighting, temperature, air quality, automatically.
It's pretty compelling. These opportunities aren't just about growing the market size. They're about creating real value and setting brands apart.
Wow, okay. We've covered a lot today. From the tech and trends pushing the market forward to some of the tough challenges like cost and delays. So boiling it all down, what does this really mean for you listening in? It's clear the interior renovation market is moving fast. Innovation, changing consumer needs, global shifts, they're all reshaping it.
That's right. And for businesses operating in this space, the key will be understanding those drivers we talked about, the tech, the lifestyle shifts, and then proactively tackling the restraints, the high costs, the supply chain snags. And crucially, seizing those strategic opportunities. We've seen how important adapting to demands for sustainability and tech integration is. And also catering to diverse needs like those aging in place solutions. That seems to be where the real success lies going forward. Which I think leaves us with an interesting question to consider. As our own lives evolve and our homes need to adapt, how will you see these big trends playing out in the spaces around you?